Good morning, chat. Friday's close was at 23,421. We are currently 3 seconds away from market start. And market is started. Nvidia is starting out 0.3% up. Tesla starting 0.5% up. Google starting flat. Amazon up 1%. Microsoft up flat. Google's flipping red. Meta is up 0.6%. Good morning. We have some news, to be fair. U.S. equities futures climbed along with the dollar after the European Union reached a trade deal with President Donald Trump, and signs mounted that the U.S. and China will extend their truce. Trump and Russia, I'm going to make the new deadline for about 10 or 12 days from today. We're waking up above the pivot point, tapping the 20 EMA. Pivot point at 23,475. Pivot point above that at 23,533, and then we have the high of market at 23,585. We are gapped up. We're gapped up 70 points. ES starting below the 100 MA, below the 200 SMA, below the VWAP. ATR starting at 9, just waking up. Nvidia's up 1%. Good morning. Bitcoin's down 0.7%. ETH is down 0.9%. The ES is struggling a little bit. NQ30 minute below the VWAP, above the 100 MA, above the 200 SMA. Taking it slow. 2 minutes in the market open. 13 minutes until the 15-minute opening range. No FOMO, no overtrading. Trump on Fed, we're doing well even without rate cut. With the rate cut, we'll be doing even better. He said they have to cut rates. I will confirm the new Russia deadline tonight or tomorrow. This is all coming from Trump. We're going to do secondary sanctions unless we make a deal. We might make a deal, you don't know. I can't imagine the UK censoring Truth Social. We wouldn't use pharma tariffs as a block for the UK. EU 600 billion US investment to come from the private sector. Trump said we'll be announcing pharma tariffs in the very near future. The ES is pretty close to filling the gap. ES is only 3 points away from filling the gap. NQ's 50 points away from filling the gap, tapping Friday's market high at 23,475. Trying to wait. This is consolidating right here. It's coiling up. Probably going to bounce. To the ES VWAP. Possibly the pivot point up top, 23,533. And if the ES can prop above the VWAP, then possibly the high market. What's up, Legend? What's up, Tom? What's up, Barn? What's up, Toby? What's up, Funny? Marshall? Good morning. Taking it slow. We do have news on the docket. 10:30 a.m. EST, Dallas Fed, MFG Bus Index. 11:30 a.m. US 2-year note. That's pretty important. Also at 11:30 a.m. EST, US 6-month bill, and then 1 p.m. US 5-year note and a 3-month bill. We should have some Trump news as well. We'll see. ATR is currently only 12. The volatility is pretty low to start. Expecting that to ramp up around 10:30. With that Dallas Fed, depending if it comes neutral, positive, negative, and especially at 11:30 and 1. ES does not fill that gap. Doesn't have to, but definitely something to watch out for. NQ getting above the 21 EMA. NQ 5 minute trying to get above this 21 EMA. Good evening, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. What's up, Gapper? I just took a break from social media. I decompressed and just took a break. I like breaking routine every once in a while, but we're back for a while. We'll be back every single day for a while. And I did not know. I thought I was gonna just trade that whole week, but it spontaneously came, and I just was like, I'll take the week. Now there is a lot of family over at my house right now, so if the stream lags a little bit, we may go offline here and there. We should be fine. But once they start waking up more and more, it may start lagging a bit. We'll just have to gauge it and solve the problem as they come. NQ currently just grinding up. Might just slowly grind up all day until 10:30, 11:30, 1 when that news comes out. Really depends what that Dallas Fed comes out as. Really depends, chat. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is this going up or is this coming down? Is this going to go up, tap that pivot point, 23,533, or is this coming down and flushing the gap fills of Friday's close? Barn thinks it's going up. Staying it slow. I think I'm gonna wait for the 15-minute opening range. Vote in the poll, up or down. Up equals long, you want it to go up. Down equals short, you want it to come down. Gap fill or pivot point? Pivot point or gap fill? You were wondering also, I'm not taking another trade on this BITUNIX account. I'm not taking another trade. Almost took a long here. Almost decided not to. Just staying patient with that account, waiting for the true opportunity. Just gotta wait for the setup. I'm liking more and more possibly going long with this consolidation, this coil. It's creating a pretty good line of support, and if we can just break through it, there's a potential for a long here. But I'm just gonna stay patient, wait. No point in FOMO, no point in over trading. There are no missed opportunities, only the next one. No missed opportunity, only the next one. NQ 30-minute looks like it wants to go to the VWAP. ES is really struggling. Bitcoin's still down at 0.3%. ETH is down 0.7% as well. Sol is up 1%. XRP is up 1%. XRP is down 1.3%. NQ futures currently sitting up 0.3%. ES almost flipping red, still green barely, 0.05%. The dollar's up 0.7%. The VIX is at 15.26, up 2.3% on the day. The Dow is down 0.1%. Russell 2000 is up 0.1%. Nvidia is up 0.5%. Tesla is up 0.25%. Google is down 0.1%. Amazon up 0.5% on the day. ES looks like it's going to flush down, tap the gap fill of Friday's close at 6,425. The ES only 3 points away from filling the gap. NQ 50 points away. NQ tapping that 21 EMA. Fell below the 21 EMA on the NQ 5-minute chart as well. 5 minutes until the 15-minute opening range. A lot of people think this is going up. Let's see. All right, let's draw these boxes. Waking to that pivot point at 23,475. Remember that gap fill. Friday's close at 23,421 for the NQ. ATR now at 13. ES is flush the gap fill. ES has filled the gap. NQ is not. Drawing trend lines right now. Hold on. All right, 3 minutes until that 15-minute opening range. Bounce off that pivot point, got above the 20 May again. May not fill the NQ gap today. May only fill the ES, climb up. Really depends how this ES reacts around the 100 MA, 200 SMA, VWAP. Really depends. Nvidia is trying to climb. Tesla's trying to climb. Meta, Facebook is up 1.4%. Trump touts Russia rare earth as a potential trade product. Trump says, I'm not so interested in talking to Putin anymore. I envision a lot of trade with Russia. Trump asked if Fed should cut rate this week. I think it has to. ES trying to come lower. Google's flipping red. Apple's flipping red. Adobe flipping red. Alibaba's up 2%. AMD. AMD's up 3.6%. Palantir's up 0.5%. MicroStrategy's up 1.5%. Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to pop. I want to see if this creates a higher low, lower low. We'll see. So far, higher high, higher low in this little consolidation. We'll just have to wait and see. 40 seconds till the 15-minute opening range. Also, German 2026 draft budget includes record investment of 126 billion euros. Just some news on the docket. Wall Street began a pivotal week with the dollar rising against most major currencies after Trump reached a tariff agreement with the EU and signs grew that the US and China would extend their trade truce. Stocks fluctuated and bonds fell. ES is starting to bounce off that gap fill. Tesla's up 1%. Google's down 0.2%. And Q30 about to tap the 30-minute VWAP. And Q5 getting above the 20 MA. It's getting bullish. And pretty bullish. Waking up, waking up, waking up. We have that pivot point at 23,533. Bitcoin's coming up. Google's flipping green. Nvidia up 0.9% now. Nvidia's coming up. And Q30 minutes tapping the 30-minute VWAP. Projecting a little. It's at 23,516. Long ES now. Good luck, Barn. Good luck, Barn. What's up, Miguel? What are you talking about, Peter? Are you looking at the NQ 5-minute chart? Hey Jay, Bravo, it says going up and going down. Barn thinks it's coming down for a gap, field then go up all day for a gap. So he thinks it's going to gap fill the ES and then climb up. So far he's correct. It really has, the market has just grinded up. I mean, look at this. Look at this NQ 30 minute. Since it's reached the higher market, when it broke the higher market back here at 22,430, it's just slow grind up, slow grind up, slow grind up. Now is it going to do that all the way to this trend line right here? It's hard to see. It's a purple trend line, pretty key pivotal trend line. If it did it today, it would be at 28,583. That's almost impossible, but that's where it would hit the trend line. If it does in a couple months, we may be looking at 29,000. If it does in a couple years, etc., etc. Does not have to hit it, probably won't hit it. We'll probably have a significant pullback before then. Something to keep in mind and look at. NQ30 MAG getting rejected from the VWAP. Tapping the 20 MAG again. This might just be one big grind up consolidation zone. 40, 50, 60 points consolidation grind up zone. ES tapping Friday's close again. Trying to stay patient, Chad. Trying to stay patient. We have news in 40 minutes. The Dallas Fed MFG bus index. Trump said on China, we're going to be setting a tariff for the rest of the world, and that's what they have to pay. Trump or China, I would love to see them open up their country. What's up, Robert? Appreciate you. Marty, waiting for that pullback to get in. So far, this is a higher high, higher low. If it flushes down, who knows? Has to get above that NQ 30-minute VWAP. Also, pivot point up top, 23,533. It's currently above the 21 EMA on the NQ 5-minute. ES may create a double bottom here. Apple flipping back red. Trying to stay patient. I think I'm gonna wait for the next candle at least. 20 seconds to the next candle. ES is starting to rise, to be fair. Tesla's starting to come up. It's waking up. Was about to take a long there and put these stop. Only 2 contracts stop below the 20 EMA. But now we're waiting until it crosses the NQ 30-minute VWAP. It's also in the middle of 2 of these trend lines. 2 of these trend lines on the NQ 30-minute. Really just depends. Starting to get a bullish bias, to be fair. He has created a double bottom. Nvidia coming up. Tesla's coming up. I also like how the NQ 5-minute crossed that 21 EMA. How it held it. ATR at 15. So far, it's just a consolidation grind up. Getting some trend lines on the chart. Trying to get above that NQ 30-minute VWAP, very important. ES just slowly grinding up. Rejecting that NQ 30-minute VWAP again. Higher high to be fair. He has created a lower high. Might just be cooling up though. We'll see. The ES could flush down here. Bitcoin's now down 1%. I think ES is going to flush down here. Bar not recently, but I've been working out pretty consistently for 3 years. Hard market to read, hard market to read. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very hard market to read. This, if I longed here, we would have secured around 10, 15, 20 points. Probably would have took it at the NQ 30-minute VWAP. May have left one runner, but besides that, was about to take 2 contracts here with a stop right below the VWAP on the NQ 30-minute. Still might. It's kind of leaning towards this going to flush down. Let me get the 200 SMA on the chart, 23,364. Yeah. Like I said, this made me wait for the news today. The Europe market wrap said S&P futures increase as the US-EU agreement allies trade fears. US market futures rose alongside the dollar after the EU signed a trade agreement with Trump. And there are indications that the US and China will extend their truce. The euro declined. The record run in the US stocks appear to continue, with S&P 500 futures up 0.2% after the index closed at an all-time high Friday. Europe stock 600 rose. Index rose 0.6% following the US-EU agreement, which levies 50% tariffs on the majority of the bloc's exports. Even as fears of a devastating trade war subside, optimism is tempered by the risk posed by this week's US jobs data, Fed and BOJ meetings, and mega cap company earnings. Early gains in European automakers faded as the euro fell to its lowest level in the week against the dollar, as investors consider more unfavorable aspects of the agreement. Trump and the European Commission President von der Leyen announced the European EU agreement on Sunday at his golf club in Turnberry, Scotland, but did not reveal the precise terms of the agreement or release any written documentation. US energy stocks rose after Trump announced that the EU had agreed to buy $350 billion in American energy supplies and invest $600 billion in the US on top of existing commitments. That's a higher low again. Trying to break it. Pretty bearish wicks on NQ 5-minute. Nvidia's holding its own, getting above 1% up. Tesla's up 1.8%.
Order filled.
Memo 2. We're going to put a little tight stop on it.
Order submitted.
Up 100, up 80, up 50.
Order filled.
And instantly wicked out. Wicked up, instantly wicked out. We may rejoin in a minute. We're down 200 in that account now. May rejoin, just quick wick down. Thank you, 3rd minute, getting above that 200, getting above that VWAP though. Tight stop, tight stop. It broke out of that range. It got above this high in the pre-market. Above the NQ 30 minute. VWAP above the NQ 5 minute 20 May. I just don't like the price action. And there's really no news in sight till 10:30. 29 minutes. Trump said the tariff would be somewhere in the 15 to 20% range. I'm assuming it's related to the comment on China will be sending a tariff for the rest of the world. That is a higher high. Starting to look weak to me. Even though everything's propping up, it's getting above key levels. Don't know. ES is starting to come up. ES created a lower low, now a higher high. It is coiling pretty nice. What's up, mister? Trump's been talking all day. Trump said the 50-day Putin deal, Putin has 50 days to make a deal, is now reduced to 10 to 12 days from today. And then he said something about the European Union, how rates need to be cut, how China, we're going to set a tariff for the rest of the world, 15 to 20% range. He said, I'm very disappointed with Russia President Putin. "25 minutes until news. Dallas Fed MFG bus index." I want him to talk a lot more. I want Trump to talk as much as possible, create as much volatility as possible in the market. ES is trying to come up while the NQ is trying to come down, rejecting that NQ 30-minute VWAP again. Gold and silver dropping. Yeah, probably after more certainty in the trade deals. I'm all good, Adrius. All good. Just took a week. Took a week to decompress. I like breaking my routine every once in a while. Just breaking the NQ 30-minute VWAP again. Video is not really behind it this time. ES is pumping pretty hard though.
Order filled.
I'm gonna send too short. Could be wrong. I'm gonna put a stop right above this wick. We'll see. Needs to break above the NQ 30-minute. It doesn't coincide with the ES, so ES is pumping hard. Nvidia's coming down, to be fair. Google's now down 0.5%. 10-point stop. Probably gonna be wicked out. Fine. Down 100, down 150. NQ 5-minute getting a little bounce. Okay, it's above the NQ 30-minute VWAP. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Bounce on the 20 May as well. May wake up, stop me out. The ES is probably gonna wake up, tap the VWAP to our SMA. We'll see. I'm gonna tighten the stop. Tightening stop a little bit. Up 15, up 40, up 70. I think it's gonna coil up and wick up. What it looks like. We're about to be stopped out. I am trading the same account. Down 100, down 150, 2 contracts short. About to be stopped out and 1 point away. Waiting to be stopped out. And stopped. Now we're down 450 in that account. Reset the order quantity. Go here. Trump ends remarks to reporters. Gold is seen averaging 3,220 an ounce in 2025, up from 3,065 in the previous poll. Gold is seen averaging 3,400 an ounce in 2026. Silver is seen averaging 38 ounce in 2026. China mission to EU. China firmly opposes any form of official exchanges between the EU Parliament and the Taiwan authorities. China mission to EU. Some EU Parliament members seriously violated the One China principle and grossly interfered in China's internal affairs. 20 minutes until news. Pivot point up top at 23,533. Canada's PM Carney, trade talks with the US are at an intense phase. The Apex accounts have been gotten rid of for a couple weeks now. 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, something like that. Thomas Brown says, can you tell me what I can invest in that based of ranch dressing for high profit margins? Right. So now it's coming down a little early on the entry. It happens. If I wouldn't have been playing with stops, that would be full 20 points secured. We would have averaged in right there. Full port at the pivot point. TBT barn, TBT. 150K, take private trader accounts. Stop glazing, mister. Stop glazing. All the glaze, all the glaze. Trying to do, man. Pretty sus, pretty sus. ES tapping 100 MA, getting wicked and wicked down, rejected. NQ 30-minute. NQ now create a lower low. That's the weakness we were looking for. I've never heard of MFF. I'll check it out. Oh, my funded futures? Yeah. I've heard of them. I've heard good things so far. What's up, Wall Street? You can invest high margin opportunities tied to ranch dressing by launching a gourmet private labeled brand by creating ranch flavored snacks, products, or licensing unique ranch formulations to food MA. It's going good, going good. So far, 2 losing trades. ES is slowly grinding up. I am not a low volatility trader, so I really don't mind. Uh, 15 minutes until the Dallas Fed MFG Bus Index. Candidate PM Carney asked about Trump's comment about the difficulty of negotiating a deal with Canada. Yes, we are difficult, but we are fighting for Canada. Carney said there's a question as to how large the tariffs would be. A U.S. trade deal without any tariffs is not likely. And Q getting above the 30-minute VWAP again. Yep. The VIX is up 3% to be fair. ATR peaked around 15 and is just floating at 14.8. Then we're gonna have to wait until 10:30. Wall Street, you 100% chat GBT'd it or grokked it. 100%. That is a chat GBT grok answer. You can invest in high margin opportunities tied to ranch dressing by launching a gourmet private label brand, creating ranch flavored snack products, or licensing unique ranch formulations to food MA. 100% chat GBT. You grokked it. You AI'd it. Have you tried Top Step? Why didn't you like Top Step? Tell me now. Tell me immediately. Just tell me. What's up, the whipping? I have not tried Top Step. I've not tried it. I heard they had a they allowed a known scammer potentially on their TV show platform or whatever. That's the only thing I've heard. Besides that, I've heard good things, but gotta be very careful. Crypto and Fear Greed Index came out 75 out of 100 greed. Crypto and Fear Greed Index came out the same. The stock market, except 75 out of 100 extreme greed. See, I would short here. I would short, but there's a lot of coil here. A lot of consolidation now. A lot of coil, a lot of consolidation. This did create a lower high on the NQ. So it should flush down. This is a ugly, 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 ugly chart. Consolidation, grind up. Very low volatility, low volume. ATR sitting at 14.2 now. Very ugly chart. Thank you, 5-minute bounce on the 20 made to be fair. You think so? You think so, Tom? Thomas Brown, you think it's time to sell all the silver? It was good, Norman. It was good, Norman. Did you guys trade the other week? How did you guys end? It should have been good trading on I looked at it briefly on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They looked like decent opportunities. What's up, Alfonso? I traded twice so far, Ash. Twice so far I've traded. And both times I put a 10-point stop and got stopped out. We're down 450 in that account. It is what it is, Wall Street. It is what it is. ES is trying to come up. Good job, Norman. Good job. Appreciate the follow, Rune. Appreciate you guys. You guys have not already, smash that like button, follow channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm live again every single day at 9:30 a.m. EST trading market. We are back on the grind. ES is now flushing down and Q's flushing down. Big flush down. What's the news? Big flush down. Tap that pivot point 23,475. What is the news? Ash, I use the 21 EMA, 21 exponential moving average. Gapper said it was a liquidity grab. 30 points. Could be. We have 8 minutes until news. I use the 21 exponential moving average, 21 EMA on the NQ 2-minute, NQ 5-minute chart. Then I use the 200 SMA simple moving average on the NQ 30-minute, ES 1-minute chart. Then the 100 moving average as well on them ES and NQ 30-minute. Then the volume weighted average price, the VWAP on the NQ 30-minute ES. Also the 20 and 50 MA on them charts as well. Then I have the Williams R120 day, the RSI, volatility, the volume, and a smattering of others. It's looking like it was just a liquidity grab. 30 point down, liquidity grab. Believe Gapper is correct. There was no news attached to that thus far. Could come out in the next 2 minutes. News platform could be delayed in a minute. This could start trending down. This may start trending down, chat. Let me update the trend lines. Go here for now. Remove this. Clean up the chart a bit. So far, no drop frames. Very impressive. I have a lot of family over right now. They're all on phones, laptops, streaming stuff on the TVs, etc., etc. So I'm actually pretty impressed. But I think 2 of them are still sleeping. So we'll see. Sold 6,400 naked puts on drop. Good job, Gapper. What's up, Sautry? Hey, Chris, long time no see. I wish you a mindful and risk-conscious trading day. You as well, Sautry. Persevere through resistance. Don't FOMO. Don't overtrade. No missed opportunities. Only the next one. All right, we're waking up. Waking up. Starting to get a little more volatile. That also could be insider info on the Dallas Fed MFG bus. Could be. Could be some insider trading. The weekend 3 DTE and SPACs that gave chat is already a winner, keeping it 80% win rate. Yeah, you did give that strat a while ago. Appreciate you, Gapper. How big trader / company change the stock price? I mean, institutional creates the trend in essence. They just slow buy in. They a lot of them buy in around the 3 p.m. just every single day at a certain time. They also have their algorithms buying in, selling. Just depends. Then you have market makers trying to win news. Then you have the retail. A lot goes into it, but they definitely affect the price by a substantial margin. They have the true cash flow to manipulate and just send stuff wherever they want it. The retail has to congregate in a group to do that, which can be done with FOMO, fear of missing out. That's kind of what you guys saw with GameStop when it started to short squeeze. Everyone had fear of missing out, so they just bought, and you have a congregation of people against the institutional selling, and then some institutional even started to join. So kind of the essence. And then you had a lot of manipulations from exchanges, Robinhood, stop and trading, etc., etc. Gabber says 1 trade gives 500 weekly paycheck per if did tranche of 3, 1,500 a week off just 1 trade. Does that take into account the 20% loss, the 80% win rate, so the 20% losing? Knowing you, it probably does. News is dropping. Might take a minute to come out. Dallas Fed MFG Bus Index just came out. No, it doesn't. Okay. CTA is buying too. Chile finance minister expects copper tariff exemption. Chile won't retaliate to US tariffs. Dallas Fed NFG bus index actual 0.9, forecasted to be -9. Previously it was -12.7. Came out very green. Very green. Next news is in 1 hour. US 2-year note and 6-month bill. Don't figure it in because sometimes you get full winners of 2K. Okay. What kind of stop do you put on it though, Gapper? Like how many points? Or what's the price point? You put a $200 stop, $500 stop. Tesla's up 2.8%. Google's down 0.6%. Meta's up 1%. Palantir's starting to flip a little red. No stop. It's an iron fly with $30 wide wings, meaning risk 1K to make 2K. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't messed with any of that. Trying to remember the different options. I traded options like 3 to 4 years ago. Kind of miss it, but I believe I would only stick to the regular, just long, short. I might have messed around with an ironclad. I believe that's what it's called, a while back. I just remember watching YouTube tutorials. I would watch YouTube tutorials and then test them out, and then adapt it a little bit, just test different strategies. NQ 30-minute getting below the VWAP as well. But I didn't stray into anything crazy. There was also a lot of options. This was back when I was trading on Webull as well, when I was scalping $100, $200 on the way to work in the car. There's also a lot of options, a lot of stuff you need to really, really deeply understand. Iron Condor, yep. Appreciate Wall Street. It's kind of an interesting way they gamify stuff. Options are pretty gamified. And it's interesting. You can have it like only lose 100 if you want it, and just interesting what you can do with it. Also teaches you how to hedge pretty well. Like, well, if you're not a degenerate, that is. You can hedge pretty well. You can also lose a lot though. You can lose a lot with options if you have no idea what you're doing. If you're a beginner, just figuring out what you want to do. Definitely very risky. Risk reward. R&R. Yeah, that's true. If you hedge, you're going to collect less. Risk reward. Yeah, options is definitely not beginner friendly. I mean, I jumped straight into it. That's how I 100%ed the savings account when I traded AMC. But it's very risky if you have no idea what you're doing. And very, very high risk. That's how that one guy a couple years ago, I believe it was a glitch with Robinhood or something. He was trading options, and he it was a news report like 5 years ago. This boy got rid of himself, and he just woke up to an obscene negative balance. But it wasn't the actual loss he accrued. It was just the loss the numbers showed. But the actual loss was all he put into it. But he just over leveraged, and then got outside of his wits. And then very tragic story happened about 4, 5, 6 years ago. I remember I believe Tom is the one who brought that up to me when I was just getting started a while ago. We were working together, and yeah, and go sideways quick. Very, very fast in a blink of an eye. Yeah, I know the numbers on the screen were not the actual losses accrued. It was insane. ATR's at 14. Shadow says, I think Trump is talking. He just posted. What is this? He just posted meetings to his bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He just posted links to that. He posted a video. He spoke around 30, 40, 50 minutes ago. Adria Scapper has not predicted the crystal ball. Scapper said no, he had a vertical spread, so all he had to do was exercise his long side. His account was down 200K, and that's what he lost, but he had a long side in the spread. Rusher, you can DM my Instagram or email me. Everything's below. Appreciate you. Kind of liking the potential for a long here. This is such an ugly chart to trade. Ugly chart to trade, chap. I'm looking at the ES. Look at this ES. ES is so ugly. Below the VWAP, below the 200 SMA, below the 100 MA. Can't even really get above the 100 MA. Very ugly chart today. What's up, account? What's up, account? We're waking up. The VWAP has moved down a bit. Thai acting prime minister. We will have tariff negotiations with the US. The Dallas Fed manufacturing outlook survey. Growth resumes in Texas manufacturing sector. Oh, we're waking up, waking up. Yeah. There's a lot of quote here, to be fair. It's waking up. I was about to throw one or two here, put a stop below 20 May. Hesitating a little bit today, not gonna lie. Not liking how this price action is. It's also in this consolidation range. Has good coil if we can get above it. May look for it once the ES is above the VWAP to our SMA. Maybe look for a long-term long. Couple hours today. If we can get above that pivot point as well. 9Q is 23,533. We'll just see. Texas factory activity picked up notably in July, according to the business executives responding to the Texas Manufacturing Outlook survey. The production index, a key measure of state manufacturing conditions, jumped 20 points to 21.3, its highest reading in more than 3 years. Other measures of manufacturing activities were mixed. The new orders index remained negative but moved up to negative 3.6 from negative 7.3. Meanwhile, the capacity utilization and shipments index pushed up into positive territory, coming in at 17.3 and 2.7 respectively. Perceptions of broader business conditions stabilized and outlooks improved. The general business activity index shot up 14 points to a near zero reading, indicating no change in activity in July after 5 months of worsening. The company outlook survey also jumped 14 points to 4.7, posting its first positive reading in 6 months. The outlook uncertainty index retreated 4 points to 11.2. Labor market measures suggested an increase in employment and work hours. The employment index moved up 3 points to 8.4, with 17% of firms noting net hiring and 9% noting net layoffs. The hours worked index climbed 16 points to 7.7, its highest reading in nearly 3 years. Elevated input price pressures continued in July, while selling price growth eased. The raw materials price index held fairly steady at 41.7, well above its average reading of 27.4. The finished goods price index retreated 15 points to 11.1. Meanwhile, the wages and benefits index was unchanged at 13.2. Expectations for manufacturing activity 6 months from now improved. The future production index rose 8 points to 30.3, while the future general business activity index rose 5 points to 19. Most other indexes of futures manufacturing activity also increased, though some remain below their average reading. Next release is August 25th. So growth is resuming in Texas manufacturing sector. It's to be expected. It's ramping up all over. I believe in Ohio, Cincinnati, South Carolina. I believe a little bit in Florida. They're a little bit restricted though, with land and stuff. Where are the... I know the auto manufacturing is coming in other places as well. Wyoming, I believe. Wyoming. I believe that's correct. People are fleeing, running away from California. That is a for sure fact. Everyone's seeing Elon Musk get out of there and they're like, "Ooh, gotta go." Gapper says whether 2 or 7 doesn't matter. The point is, yep. He was one of the many kids who jumped into options back in 2020 that had no business doing so. Too many people using options as lottery tickets these days. Yeah. CA is nice weather, Gapper. I mean, wall. California weather wall is very nice. That's indisputable. Yeah, Gapper, most do not have the discipline when you reach your profit target in options to actually take it. And if they do take it, they normally gamble, keep spinning the cog, keep spinning the wheel. And there's very little discipline. You have very little discipline, even though you think you do. When you're just starting out trading in options, you think you have a lot of discipline, you think you have a lot of willpower. Just wait till you get smacked down. You need to be consistent. You need to not overtrade, not FOMO, fear of missing out, none of that. And just slow down, wait for the correct opportunity, and have the appropriate risk tolerance. Funny, I'm still using TBT. I started a debate in the chat. I think Gabber's gonna win this one. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. If anything, selling options is where the money is. We have some agreement. Wall Street said, if anything, selling options is where the money is. Gabber said, agree, selling premium is good. He didn't say great though. He just said good. Pouring gas. God, pour gas into the fire. He only said good, he didn't say great. Chat, what do we think about that? We read most of this news from this meeting. We do not have 2 hours to watch this. Okay. While the market is just straight trash consolidation, we're gonna watch this. Let's boom, boom, boom. Oh, good. Thought this was a 2-hour meeting.
It's absolutely incredible. I agree with you. Thank you so much. Well, let me welcome you, Mr. President, to Scotland, and fantastic to be here at Turnberry with you. Thank you so much for showing us around and having this opportunity to sit in this fantastic ballroom, which is absolutely incredible, and to start talking about some of the issues that are most pressing in your country and my country, and in particular, we've had the opportunity to talk about the situation in Gaza and the intolerable situation, including images of starvation. And I think both of us know that we have to get to that ceasefire and we have to increase humanitarian aid in. And thank you for what you've already been doing, are doing.
What's up, Robert?
Because without you, this would not be capable of resolution. And I think that if we can work not just on the pressing issues of the ceasefire, but also on this issue of getting humanitarian aid in at volume, at speed, and then we've discussed a plan for what then happens afterwards, I think we can do our very best to alleviate what is an awful situation at the moment. So thank you very much for the discussion we've had so far and the discussion we're about to continue on that really important issue. But it's fantastic to be here. Thank you for your hospitality and to see this amazing golf course. I'll invite you to a football ground at some stage and we can exchange sports.
It's been great being with you, and thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. And you've done a fantastic job with regard to the trade deal. You know, they wanted a trade deal here for years, many years, through many different terms of different people, and you got it done. So I want to congratulate you on that, and it's a great deal for both. It brings unity. We didn't need unity, but it brings us even closer together. I think it's good for both parties. We also discussed obviously Gaza, and I think before we get to phase 2, which is what's going to happen afterwards, we want to get the children fed. We made a contribution a week ago of $60 million, all going into food. We only hope the food goes to the people that need it, because so much, as you know, when you do something there.
Does anyone else think he is the picture perfect Incredibles villain? One of the villains? They should add him onto the next Incredibles movie.
It's taken by Hamas or somebody, but it gets taken. But and we're prepared to help. We want to help. It's a terrible situation. The whole thing is terrible. It's been bad for many years, but it's great to hear you feel the same way that I do. We have to help on a humanitarian basis before we do anything. We have to get the kids fed. So we've been sending in a lot of food. A lot of the food that's been going there has been sent by the United States. I spoke yesterday with the president of the European Union, Ursula, who was terrific also on the subject, and she's going to play a big role also in helping us. So we have a good group of countries that are going to help with the humanitarian needs, which is food, sanitation, and some other things. It's very difficult to deal with Hamas. As I said, we got a tremendous amount of hostages out, but it would take place in drips and drabs. You get 10, you get 5, you get 2, you get 10, 12. We get 12 one time. Many of them would come to the White House, and they were so thankful. But I always said, when you get down to the final 10 or 20, you're not going to be.
What the hell? Hold on.
Relatives, but you love the country. Yeah, that probably has. It always has an impact. Always has an impact. But Germany has a new leader, and I think he's terrific. I think you like him too.
Yeah,
I think he's terrific. My father was born in Germany, or his Germany. His parents were just out. But so you have a lot of feeling for this part of the world. I do. I want to see this part of the world do well. Germany, Scotland, UK. I want this part of the world to do well. All of the nations. You do feel a certain. You have a warm feeling toward a part when your parents are born essentially here. And I think maybe it's slightly different. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but maybe it's slightly different.
Mr. President, how do you rule out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell when you landed? Is that something you would ever consider, and why?
Pardon for who?
For Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it. Nobody's asked me about it. It's in the news about that aspect of it, but right now it would be inappropriate to talk about it. So,
Mr. President, your opposition to offshore wind is well known in Scotland.
Wind is a disaster.
But in Scotland, across the UK, wind farms.
I know, it's a shame. It's not his fault. I used to tell Alex Salmon.
Have you spoken to the Prime Minister, and will you speak to the First?
Well, all I can do is give my look. Wind is the most expensive form of energy, and it destroys the beauty of your fields and your plains and your waterways. And look out there. There's no windmills. But if you look in another direction, you see windmills. When we go to Aberdeen, you'll see some of the ugliest windmills you've ever seen. They're the height of a 50-story building. And you can take 1,000 times more energy out of a hole in the ground this big. This big. It's called oil and gas. And you have it there, the North Sea. This big, that nobody would even see. You can take 1,000 times more power because the wind is intermittent. It doesn't work. It's extremely expensive. All the windmills are made in China. They used to be Germany and China. Now they're mostly in China. They all come out of China. They say that the blades, which are carbon fiber, you can't bury. Oh, okay, you can't bury. What are you going to do? Dump them in the ocean someplace? Because they only last a certain period of time. And remember, a windmill has a life of 8 years, especially when they're out in the salty sea and they start to rot and to rust. You have to replace them. It's very hard to replace them. Wind needs massive subsidy. And you are paying in Scotland and in UK and all over the place where they have a massive subsidy.
Yeah, wind energy, great idea. This is one of the things. Great idea. In practice, though, terrible in practice. Just, I mean, you pass by these wind fields, and they absolutely look terrible. They are just, I mean, you would rather just pass by a clear field, just filled with trees, just wildlife, see some deer. Instead, you have these big wind farms, and it's just absolutely garbage. Very good idea, you know, harnessing wind for energy, economic friendly, kills the birds, whales, etc. Just really bad in practice and not really well thought out. Solar is better, but I think there's going to be a problem with solar eventually soon, but it's definitely the way to the future. Solar energy. But before that, you know, there's good applications for nuclear, revamped versions of nuclear. There's some companies working on like small reactors, cold fusion, etc., etc. So in practice, wind, good. Harness wind for energy, good. In practicality, in the real world application, not ideal.
To have these ugly monsters all over the place. So I've restricted windmills in the United States. Now, a couple we have, you know, the poor stupid people at the beginning, they approve them, so they have their full approvals. But I've restricted windmills in the United States because they also kill all your birds. You know, they wipe out. You know, it's interesting. If you shoot a bald eagle in the United States, they put you in jail for 5 years. And yet windmills knock out hundreds of them. They don't do anything. You've explained that. So it's a very expensive energy. It's a very ugly energy, and we won't allow it in the United States.
So we believe in a mix, and obviously oil and gas is going to be with us for a very long time. And that'll be part of the mix. But also wind, solar, increasingly nuclear, which is what we've been discussing this morning, civil nuclear as we go forward. The most important thing for the United Kingdom is that we have control of our energy, and we have energy independence and security, because at the moment, whatever the attributes and facilities in the North Sea, that is sold onto the international market. We buy it back off the international market. That was a historic mistake in my view. But what we need is a mix so that we get the energy security that we need for the future, and that's the focus of everything that we're doing. But what we have discussed today is that the energy prices are too high, which is why we recently took measures to reduce the energy prices, particularly for energy-intensive businesses. But in the long run, the only way to reduce your energy prices is to take control of your energy, and that's what we're doing, taking control of our energy.
Mr. President, our King Charles, who you're a great friend of, is a big fan of eco-projects, windmills, as he calls them. Is he wrong?
So King Charles is an environmentalist, I will tell you. And I say that in a positive way, not a negative way. And every time I've met with him, he talked about the environment, how important it is. And I'm all for it. I think that's great. You know, King Charles, more than anything else, loves the country. But I got to know him very well. He truly is an environmentalist. He wants clean air, clean water, you know, all of the things that we all want.
Mr. President, you have said that you have not been briefed on the Epstein files, or your name has not appeared in the Epstein files. But doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name is...
Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. You know, it's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this, those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey, they were run by Garland, they were run by Biden, and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony. Like, as an example, Christopher Steele, a person you know well, happens to be from your country. But Christopher Steele, as an example, wrote a book, a dossier. We call it the fake news dossier. And the whole thing was a fake. The whole thing was a fake. They could put things in the file that are fake. But those files were run by bad, sick people. If they had anything, why didn't they use it when I was killing Joe and then he gave out because he was 25 points down? And then I got somebody new. Nobody even knew anything about it. She was a horrible vice president. She was our border czar, but she never went to the border. She never once called a border patrol agent to find out I would know, but she was the border czar. Her name was Kamala. Nobody knows her last name. It was Harris, but nobody knew her last name. So I ended up, how would you like to end up in a race where you're killing somebody, you're beating him, and then they say, all right, we'll take him out. He's not working. Let's put somebody else. And then she had a 6-week honeymoon. It was amazing. They predicted she would have a 6-week honeymoon, and she did. And then she got slaughtered. But think of it. Those files were run by these people. They were run by my enemy. If there was anything in there, they would have used them for the election. Yeah.
Do you think that drawing, I think I heard you say something the other day, that the drawing that was the subject of the Wall Street Journal report?
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
think it was fraudulent?
I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building, and I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women. And also, Epstein was always a very controversial guy. I was at a very high position, pretty much all my life. In all fairness, I've been doing this for a long time. I had the top show on television. I had the #1 bestsellers. I had everything, right? And I was a very successful business guy. He was a very controversial. Who would do a controversial drawing? Now, with that being said, they say there were many letters done by many people, and many big people, big successful people. But I just don't. When you talk about files, I just keep going back. And other people too. Even the enemy says this thing is not correct. Because if we had it, we would have used it on the guy. It's a bad issue. They say it's a good issue for Trump. Do you know that my poll numbers are up 4.5 points since this ridiculous Epstein stuff? My poll numbers have gone up 4.5 points because people don't buy it. Okay, people don't buy it. And he's gone, and we want to focus on trade deals. I want to focus on the deal we just made with the European Union, which is the biggest trade deal in history. It's the biggest deal, I think, in history, not just trade deal. So if they would have had something, they would have used it.
People keep writing stories about the time you threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. Can you settle that? What was it about? What caused the breach?
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island. And Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island. And I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island. Yeah.
Mr. President, on Gaza, next time you speak to Netanyahu, what will you ask him to do?
Say it what, louder?
Next time you speak to Netanyahu, what will you ask him to do?
Well, I'm going to say, look, we're giving money and we're giving food, but we're over here and we're over in the United States, and I think I can speak for the Prime Minister. We're giving money and things. He's got to sort of run it.
What should he do?
Well, I want them to make sure they get the food.
Okay.
I want to make sure they get the food, every ounce of food. I think you want to say
absolutely. It's an absolute focus.
because that food isn't being delivered,
Mr. President,
or at least all of it.
you said you were going to set essentially a tariff for the world.
For the world.
What percent will that tariff be?
I would say it'll be somewhere in the 15 to 20% range.
So maybe 15 or 20 or?
No, I said, I sort of know, but I just want to be nice. I would say in the range of 15 to 20%.
You should also be well aware to UK steel.
Probably one of those two numbers.
But UK steel aluminum makers here are worried about the tariffs. Will you do anything to help here?
Aluminum?
And steel.
You're a pretty big aluminum maker.
Yeah, that's already covered in the deal that we've agreed. So we're just doing the implementation of that.
But Mr. President, when will that come down from 25% to 0?
You mean on the overall, on the world?
On steel and aluminum from Britain, it's 25.
Well, we're going to know pretty soon. We're going to have it pretty soon.
Mr. President,
You have no idea that these people are tough negotiators, okay? But we're a big buyer of steel. But we're going to make our own steel. We're going to make our own aluminum for the most part. But we buy a lot of aluminum from right here and a lot of steel too.
Yeah.
Who are you with? Who are you with? Because you're asking such a nice question.
TV News, next time TV News.
Very good. They're lucky.
We have a lot of unhappy farmers in this country at the moment, and I'm sure the Prime Minister won't thank me for raising this. We've had changes to inheritance tax, which mean a lot of farmers feel they're going to lose their farms when they die of their father. How important are farmers to the country?
You mean they're going to lose the farm because of estate tax or something?
Correct.
So what I've done,
Pay so much, they're cash poor, but they have great.
I know, well, they're cash poor. They're land rich and cash poor. A lot of people are. I've had that too. Sometimes I'm land rich and cash. Sometimes I'm cash rich and land poor. I like it both ways, but as I get older, I like the more conservative route. So I did something that I don't know if you can do, but it was great. I love our farmers. As you know, in our tax bill, we have a clause that's very important. We were losing a lot of farms to the banks because a loving mother and father would die and left their farm to their children or their child, but their children, their family, and they love their.
Oh boy, we have a prediction. Prediction is in for Gapper. Come on, Gapper says, come on, NQ, bring forth 445. He thinks this is coming down, chat. He thinks this is coming down. Right now, there's no opportunity. It's just consolidating, cooling up. To be fair, it's above this consolidation zone, above the pivot point, 23,475. 45, huh? Remember, Friday is closed. Friday's close is at 23,421. We're currently gapped up 70 points. ES has already filled the gap. Good. We have news in 25 minutes.
family, and they thought they were doing them a favor, but they had a 50% tax to pay. So the land would get valued and at a high number because some of the farms were valuable, but they didn't, you know, they couldn't quantify it. And they go out and borrow money to pay the estate tax or the death tax, as it's called, and they'd overextend and they'd lose the farm. And they commit suicide in many cases.
No. Our levels are nowhere near 50%. They're not. We've just introduced where it's paid over many years. Works out
that's good.
An extra 2% a year over 10 years. So it's not at those levels by any stretch of the imagination. But the other thing that we've done, as you know, is make sure that we've got a pathway for farmers that actually increases their year-on-year income, which is the most important thing. And in all of the deals that we do, we ensure that our farmers are the central focus for much of it, particularly on agriculture, including in the US deal, because I don't think we can go on for years saying that it's acceptable for farmers to have a year-on-year income which isn't sufficient. We've got to fix that problem. We can't simply live with that problem, so it's a very different situation.
Well, we ended the estate tax. There is no estate tax on farmers. So when a parent leaves their farm, because again, a lot of these farms, they don't make a lot of money, but it's a way of life, and they love their way of life, and they love that dirt. That dirt is the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. They love it. I mean, they're farmers. They love doing it. They don't know how to do anything else, but they don't want to do anything else. I speak to farmers. I say, would you like to live in my penthouse in Manhattan? It's always beautiful. No, sir, I want this farm. And what happens is, we were losing a lot of people to suicide. They'd borrow money to pay the estate tax, and they were not able to pay it. And some banks are ruthless. They wouldn't do anything, and they would end up committing suicide. We have totally ended the estate tax in those situations. So there's no estate tax. So when a parent leaves the farm to the kids, they don't have to worry about their local, possibly unfriendly banker coming in and stealing their farm.
On the back to migration, one of the black issues in Britain is migrants being housed in hotels, people in those communities not being safe. Is that an appropriate place to house migrants?
I don't like anything about it. They shouldn't be allowed in. Anybody illegally should not be allowed in the country. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Very interesting. Do you guys think Trump is in the Epstein files? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Do you think he's in the Epstein files? And then I'm going to ask a follow-up question as well. Do you think Trump is in the Epstein files in a negative light? And then there's a third one. Why, if he was in a negative light in the Epstein files, did Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or other like Obama when he was running, why did none of the Democrats release any of them files? Is it because most of the files got washed by high positioned people in the cabinet, above the president, in banks and other areas of power control? What is it about, chat? Christian says, yep. Well, why do you guys think he, ICYMI, Trump freezes export controls to secure trade deal with China. U.S. officials have been warned to avoid tough moves against Beijing as Stockholm hosts the third round of negotiations. The Commerce Department Bureau of Industry and Security, which runs export controls, has been told in recent months to avoid tough moves on China, according to 8 people. As you can see, the chart is going nowhere, chat. Absolutely nowhere. So in 20 minutes at 11:30 a.m., U.S. 2-year note high yield, U.S. 2-year note bid to cover, then U.S. 6-month bill should create some volatility. After that, the next news on the docket is at 1 p.m. U.S. 5-year note 3-month bill. Looking for a Trump tweet real quick. Trump tweeted 13 minutes ago, just spoke to the acting Prime Minister of Thailand and Prime Minister of Cambodia. I am pleased to announce that after the involvement of President Donald J. Trump, both countries have reached a ceasefire and peace. Congratulations to all. By ending this war, we have saved thousands of lives. I have instructed my trade team to restart negotiations on trade. I have now ended many wars in just 6 months. I am proud to be president of peace. I don't know, Chad. I don't know. Nope, they all in together. Yeah, it was a... Yeah, he's in them, but I hope and don't think he's done bad things. That's just me. Yeah, I understand Wall Street. I can't say anything. YouTube's very sensitive. Christian said, and by the way, they're never coming out. Politics are rich people too. Politicians are rich people too. Christian says, yep. Trump was wild in his younger days and could have done anything, but so was most everyone else. See, I just don't know why people would not have released it when Trump was their main competitor in races in the election. I understand the 2016 one. I understand that because most people thought he was going to lose, so they just were like, why not? I don't know. Kind of understand that one, kind of don't. I mean, why not just wipe him from the map completely if you have it? I don't know. A lot of powerful people had their hand in that pot. And there's a reason it hasn't came out yet. Well, significant evidence. Everyone's waiting for this list of just high-ranking people in like every high-ranking position ever. Like, what's the prince? Prince Charles? No. Whatever, the prince that paid 11 million, 12 million, 8 million to that one girl and supposedly never even met her, but the photo of him and her, allegedly. Pawning AI gets permit to provide driverless robot taxis in Shanghai. You know, I've been looking at Pawny's GPU. Interesting. This market is so slow it hurts. Democrats are in there, and don't forget the Democrats let the oof. Wall Street is based. Wall Street is based, man. You're gonna get my YouTube channel banned, man. Chill out, man. Chris, are you finding this market difficult to trade, or is it me? I've taken 2 trades so far, and they've both been stopped out. We're negative 450 in one account. Besides that, I haven't taken any more trades. Market is just painfully slow, moving at a snail's pace. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Let me, are you guys trading this? Are you waiting? Type of 1 in chat if you're profitable, 2 if you're negative, 3 if you're learning. It's not an easy market. Vote in the poll, vote in the poll. Are you profitable, negative, or learning? Profitable, negative, or just watching and learning? Vote in the poll, vote in the poll. We'll take a look in a minute. Christian's profitable. I don't know why you put a 1 with a down face. Yeah, I know Wall Street, but if I were to say something like that, oof. I mean, especially if we get a little bigger and I start talking about like Israel in a bad light, just like weird, just base things. If I say the truth, basically, YouTube will demonetize, and I don't like that fully, but I really don't need to give my full thoughts either. I can kind of maneuver around it in a way. I definitely think we need some justice. We need something for this Jeffrey Epstein. I think the whole world is pointing to that, and you can see the outrage over the list being denied. Excuse me. The list being denied to the public over and over and over again. I mean, it just, why are they doing that? Especially when it really wasn't Trump who said he would do it. It was Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. They really ran on it, but he selected them, so he has to take accountability and responsibility for what they said, their actions, etc. to a certain extent. Everyone was really expecting that list, but you got to remember that so many administrations have went by with that list in hand, and so many powerful people have been in positions of power that were implicated in that, CEOs, etc., funding to campaigns, etc., etc. So the list was probably scrubbed of a large margin of names, and possibly even disregarded altogether. We got some profitable people today. It's kind of 50-50. Christian's only up $10. Hey, $10 is $10. What's up, Clips? Wall Street, you're fine. You're fine. ES is starting to wick down. Google is now down 1%. Microsoft is down 0.3%. Palantir is down 0.6%. I don't know, chat. Oh, big wick down. How did I miss that? Big wick down. Remember, we still have that gap to fill in the NQ. He has already filled the gap. Friday's close at 23,421. We're currently 30 points away. It's gapping down, testing that range. We have that pivot point to the downside as well at 22,423. It's close to the gap. Nice 40-point wick down. NQ is about to tap the 100 MA. Costco is down 1.8%. Palantir is down 1%. Adobe is down 0.3%. Wicking down. I'm going to take one here and with one long. May just continue to wick down that pivot point. I'm betting on a little bounce off the 100 MA on the NQ 30 minute. May wick through a little bit. Down 50, down 75, down 100. And with one more and with two contracts, long. Up 70. Down 100, down 200. Going against it real quick, looking for a quick bounce. May not get it. Up 80, up 100, 160, 200, 300. Just going to scalp 300. Good enough. Market orders, we ended up with 288. Low volatility, I'm not going to hold for a longer bounce. Plus, we have the Friday gap fill at 23,421, 30 points away. We have that trend line as well. Key trend line on the NQ 30 minute. Trend line right here below it. If it did it on this 30 minute wick in 9 minutes, it would end up being 23,411. Have to see. Pretty nice bounce on the ES. The market has arisen, chat. Market woke up. News, Senate, Democrats against China chip sales. All right, so what's the prediction, Gapper? You throw out a lot of numbers, 448, 442. What's the prediction? What's the prediction? What's up, my lad? Good to see you guys. Come on, chat. Do we think this is going to flush up? Have a nice bounce to the pivot point up top at 23,475, or do you think this is going to fall to Friday's gap fill? Friday's close at 23,421. Do you think it's going up or down, chat? So far it's bouncing, trying to break through the range. Norman has a buy order at 415. Sheesh. Sheesh. We have that pivot point at 20,423. So far, it's just grinding up, bouncing. Democrats, senators pen letter to U.S. Commerce Secretary Ludnick about resuming China chip sales. Remember, we have news in 6 minutes. 6 minutes, U.S. 2-year note and 6-month bill. Very key. If you guys are new here, make sure you smash that like button, follow channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell after you subscribe. After you subscribe, smash that notification bell to be notified when I'm live every single day at 9:30 a.m. EST for market open. We are back on the grind. We're back at it. We're back at it, chat. Shots. Come on. Yeah, with good spike volatility, now it's dying out a little bit. Nice bounce on the NQ 30 minute 100 MA though. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. About to tap that pivot point. Appreciate it, Jay. You're a part of it. You've tuned in. Jay said, really appreciate the community you created, Chris. Thank you for the input, Gapper. Appreciate it, Jay. Gapper says, the poll this morning where 100% said long, hashtag love the herd. Naked and Q puts already 30% winners. Good job, Gapper. Gapper, Bombapper, Fee-Fi, Momapper. It's tapping the 50% retracement. It's getting above it. Tapping that pivot point. Pretty nice bounce. Not gonna lie. Looking good. Gabber said now just need SPY to close over 6,420 within 30 minutes. Could start propping up. Was debating on taking a short at this pivot point, but I think it may just switch. I think it may fake everyone out. Everyone thinks it's going to gap fill Friday's close at 23,421. I think they may just fake it out and prop this up. News in 3 minutes, chat. News in 3 minutes. US 2-year note. US 2-year note. US 6-month bill. News in 3 minutes. Appreciate the follow, Sada. Make sure you guys finalize your votes. Finalize your votes. Finalize your votes. Are you profitable, negative, or learning? Profitable, negative, or learning? Finalize your votes, chat. Finalize your votes. It's trying to break through that pivot point. Pivot point at 23,475. News in 1 minute. News in 1 minute. US 2-year note. US 6-month bill. Very important. It also could be delayed by a minute or two. It could be delayed. Expecting some volatility. I'm gonna trade this volatility. Well, if it's good enough. If it's good enough. ATR currently sitting at 13. Thank you. 30 minute below the VWAP, above the 100 MA. Got a nice bounce above that pivot point now. Tapping the 20 MA. News in 20 seconds. ES is climbing up. ES is flipped red. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Go, let's go. Could be delayed by a minute or two. Could be delayed. US 2-year note, US 6-month bill. It also could come flat and do absolutely nothing. Let's see. So far, nothing. Gotta give it a couple minutes. What's up, Joshua? Trying to get above that 21 EMA. So far, nothing. I have not seen the news on the docket either. Treasury, WI 2-year yield 3.925% before 69 billion auction. News is delayed a little bit. Be careful. Starting to get volatile. Wicking down, about to tap that pivot point. Pivot point 23,475. Todd said, if you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn the notification on. This is invaluable information. Appreciate it, Todd. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Still waiting for this news. Waking up, waking up, waking up. Getting above the 21 EMA. About to tap the NQ 5-minute 21 EMA. The 21-day exponential moving average. Come on. It came out. Previously, the US 2-year note high yield was 3.786. It came out as 3.92. US 2-year note bid to cover came in at 2.62. Previously, it was 2.58. 6-month bill high yield previously was 4.11. Now it's 4.12. 6-month bid to cover bill was previously 3.06. Came in now as 3.36. Positive, but not really enough to move the market significantly. Next news is 1 p.m. US 5-year note, US 3-month bill. Appreciate you guys following. For some reason, I'm not getting the. Let me refresh this. Pretty slow day. Pretty slow day. What is on the docket tomorrow? We have PayPal earnings call and earnings at 7 a.m. Boeing earnings call. Merrick, US, UPS, United Health. All that earnings at 8:30. Procter and Gamble earnings call. UPS earnings call. US retail inventories, ex auto advance. US wholesale inventories month over month. At 8:45, United Healthcare earnings call. At 9 a.m. EST tomorrow, US case Schiller 20 year over year. Merrick earnings call. 10 a.m. US Jolts job opening. USCB consumer confidence. 1 p.m. US 7-year high note. At 3 p.m. US Treasury refunding estimates. Tomorrow should offer some good volatility. True. Very true, Gapper. Gapper says slow days are great for theta decay on 0 DTs, 0-day expiration options. Very true. Yeah, I need to start playing around with options again. I really need to do it. Tom said, make an options video. I've been out of the options game for around 3 to 4 years, Tom. I would need a week or a month refresher myself. I mean, it's all basic stuff, but it's been a minute. I ain't even gonna lie. Ain't even gonna lie. Gabber says, pretty much all I do is options in the SPIX, ES, NQ, then of course futures. All these boxes, let's map it out visually. Has nice coil, has pretty nice consolidation above the 20 MA. Trying to wait to see if the NQ 5-man 20 MA gets reclaimed as support. Trying to see. Oh man, Gabber says no more day trading junkie stocks from scanners. Oh baby, that brings me right back. I believe I got rid of my old notebook. I literally went on a Webull scanner and just went on low market cap stocks, and just scanned through all of them. I would go through the company's earnings, the news, and I started a while ago by just like entering in. I averaged in a decent portion of the account and just put it spread out across 10 stocks, and then liquidate all that and put it all into AMC. That's a little background lore, but that brings me right back, man. I used to be on them scanners so long. Take the website, look at all their earnings, just see if they're profitable or not. Most of the pharmaceutical medical stuff, woof, they got to go through trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. It is brutal. Medical stocks are a whole different ball game, but yeah, that brings me right back. You know, I'm still signed up for an email till this day, even though I've unsubscribed about 5 times. Sensonic or whatever, SENS. Do we pull it up? Yeah, right here. See if I can get the actual one. So this stock I no longer hold, but I used to have way back in the day. Why not buy this thing? It doesn't matter. Hold on. I bought this a while ago. I think I bought this around here. I sold it like right here. I liquidated this whole position and just threw it in AMC around this time. Believe it or not, it was pretty volatile back here. Couple months. I believe it was right here. Somewhere right here. Brand new to stocks. Just put in, sold. Basically break even, but just put it all into AMC a while ago. There was another one, like, I don't know, I had a bunch of weird stocks. I believe Sensonics Holdings, Sense, whatever. Holdings, Sensonic. I believe they did, if I'm not mistaken, they had like medical technology that was coming out, or they had a diabetes shot, something like that. And I was like, one of the stocks I went in had a diabetes shot, and I was like, that sucker's gonna skyrocket. Most of the US is becoming more and more obese, and I was like, time to go in. Time to go in. Reset my chart. Appreciate the follow, Sindri. Appreciate the follow, Lax. Appreciate you guys. DS, I'm using TPT. It's a private trader, 150K counts. What's up, D? D's nuts. No. Got flagged on RH. Now using cash accounts feels weird. Any pointers? Well, it's basically, I can't give you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Hold your own conviction, trade your own strategy, don't FOMO, don't overtrade, and there are no missed opportunities, only the next one. Cash accounts are a little different. You have to wait for actual volatility to get in and out of stocks. Sometimes your limit orders, if you trade with limit or market orders, your limit orders get skipped sometimes due to volatility. So you just got to keep that in mind. And if you have a big enough count size, I doubt that's the case. But if you have if you're trading over 50K in a position, 100K in a position, $1 million in a position, you just really got to worry about liquidity and being able to get in and out of stock quick. That's why most of these people only trade the SPY, the Nasdaq futures, or Nvidia, Tesla. They trade the major stocks so they can get in and out. Just if you're trading a lower equity account, it's basically the same thing. You just got to keep in mind that you need actual liquidity to get in and out. It's not like prop firm accounts that are on live market data but not live liquidity, so you can get in and out whenever you want because it's a simulated environment connected to a prop firm account. Still the same market structure, everything, same data, just different ball game when you're trading with actual liquidity, needing to get in and out. If I was just getting on a cash account, I would de-risk a little bit, slow down a little bit, just slow down, get my feet in, maybe start with micros instead of minis. Maybe one micro at a time. It's just, you have to adapt and adjust. Appreciate it, Martin. But remember, anything you do is on you. It's your responsibility to take full accountability. That's only what I would do. White House and EU pledges no electronic transmission tax in the deal with the US. Whoa, Squared said 5 lots at a time. What the hell, Sindri? Don't type that shit, man. People on Kick are crazy, man. You can't be putting them emojis. Russia bans gasoline exports for producers throughout August to stabilize the domestic fuel market. White House and EU to buy 750 billion in US energy and invest 600 billion by 2028. Xperia, I'm not on a trade. Not in a trade, not on a trade, not doing a trade right now. I longed this overextension, over flush down, over pullback, longed it, and made 288. Sold out pretty quick, did not hold for the pump. Now it's resumed very low volatility after that flash. Spike of volatility. ATR is now at 10. The volatility is very low. The Dow is flat, trying to go green. ES is trying to come up. Ash, will you explain those blue, those 4 blue lines? This one no longer valid. These are just trend lines, Ash. Trend lines in the market. Touch point, touch point, touch point, wick through. I'm gonna keep this one. It consolidated around it, broke through. Now this is resistance trend line. This one's no longer valid. And the horizontal blue lines are pivot points. Key levels where it's likely to bounce off of, resistance, support. So far, it turned this pivot point 23,475, the pivot point to the downside as support. Pivot point to the upside, 23,533 is resistance currently, and it may tap it, get above it, flip it to support. And I do need to move this NQ 30-minute VWAP, volume weighted average. It's at 23,504. This is the NQ 30-minute VWAP. Very important. If it reclaims that, it's pretty bullish. If it does it with the ES reclaiming the 100 MA, 200 SMA, and VWAP as well, then it's pretty bullish. Just indicators to use. I've only traded 2 accounts so far. We're down 450 in another account, up 288 in the other. Pretty slow day. Morocco, eh? Morocco. Greetings from the US, my friend. Greetings, greetings. ES is just grinding up, grinding up, grinding up. Thank you, 5 minute getting above 20 man as well. Let's see how you guys are doing. So profitable, negative, or learning. 29% are profitable, 24% are negative, 47% are learning on the YouTube short stream. On the regular YouTube stream, 58% are profitable, 17% are negative, 25% are learning. ES got above the 100 MA, closing in on the 200 SMA. The 200-day simple moving average. We could. Is it gonna do a V-shaped recovery to 23,530? The day high? Could. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, we're gonna watch another video until a trade opportunity comes. We may take this long if it comes to the VWAP, or if it comes back down to 20 May, that pivot point. May do that on some volatility. We'll see. Have to wait and see. So here.
Discuss options, and it's an honor to have the President of the European Union with us. Ursula's been really done a terrific job for them, not for us, but she's done a great job. And she's highly respected by us also. And we look forward to talking to see if we can do something. We've had a very good relationship over the years, but it's been a very one-sided transaction, very unfair to the United States. And I think both sides want to see fairness, but it's been a very, very one-sided
Appreciate
deal.
the follow, Ron.
It shouldn't be. And so we're here with her very brilliant staff, and hopefully we'll resolve a few issues. But it's a great honor. You know, we just built this ballroom, and we're building a great ballroom at the White House. The White House has wanted a ballroom for 150 years, but they never had a real estate person. You know, no president knew how to build a ballroom. But this just opened, you know, relatively short time ago, and it's been quite the success. And I think, I was just saying, I could take this one, drop it right down there, and it would be beautiful. This is exactly what they've wanted. But it's an honor to have you at the new ballroom at Turnberry. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much for inviting me here. Indeed, it is today about trade between the European Union and the United States. We're together the two largest economies worldwide.
Right.
If you look at the trade volume, it's the biggest trade volume globally with 1.
You guys are just tuning in. This is President Trump meeting with the President of the European Commission. This was yesterday.
$7 trillion among us. And if you look at our markets, it's a huge market, 800 million people if you take the United States and the European Union. So I'm very much looking forward to the discussions we will have now. Our staff have done some of the heavy lifting, but now it's on us. Yep. And you're known as a tough negotiator and deal maker.
But fair.
And fair. And what is in front of us?
That's less important.
If we are successful, I think it would be the biggest deal each of us has ever struck. So I'm very much looking forward.
Ever struck by anybody? That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Right now we have that honor goes to Japan. We just struck a deal with Japan, as you know, and we're very close to a deal with China. We really sort of made a deal with China, but we'll see how that goes. And we have numerous other deals, and mostly I'm just going to charge tariffs. And you know, it's not a deal per se, but people are going to pay tariffs, and we're doing them at the low end, not the high end, because we don't want to hurt anybody. And pretty well, but you and I both figured this is really the biggest trading partnership in the world, so we should give it a shot, right?
Yeah. Very much looking forward to that.
Oh, thank you very much. I do too. Any questions, please?
Well, on Friday, but the chances of it being at 50%, maybe less. It seems like you're in quite a good mood. How would you rate those chances now?
I'm actually not in a good mood, but I will tell you, I think the chances are, I think Ursula would say probably 50-50 of making a deal. I hope. You know, I'd like to make a deal. I think it's good for both, but I'd say 50-50.
Just so you guys already know, this meeting was yesterday. A trade deal has already been struck. After Trump reached a tariff agreement with the EU and signs grew that the U.S. and China would extend their trade truce. So it's already been struck. We're just watching the news to see if there's any key details we need to hear. Any details about the trade deal, etc.
We have 3 or 4 sticking points. I'd rather not get in. We'll be discussing them. But I think the main sticking point is fairness. Please.
Why you're in a bad mood? Was it a bad morning of golf, or why you're not in a good mood?
No, the golf was beautiful.
Ash, this was yesterday. This is the EU, European Commission, and President Trump. They've already declared an agreement, tariff agreement. They've already made a deal with each other. This was just yesterday. We're just watching it to look for key details.
It's golf can never be bad, even if you play badly.
NQ is starting to come down a bit. May tap the 20 May. Have to see.
It's still good. If you had a bad day on the golf course, it's okay. It's better than other days. But no, I think I look forward to this meeting. You know, we've had a hard time with trade with Europe, very hard time, and I'd like to see it resolved. But if it isn't, we'll have tariffs, and they'll do what they have to do. But we have a good chance of getting it resolved. We'll probably know in about an hour. Shouldn't take that long. It's complicated, but not really complicated when you get right down to it, right?
August 1st deadline? Is there any chance that gets...
No. The August 1st is there for everyone. The deals all start on August 1st. Most of the deals, other than steel and aluminum, which we've been getting 50% tariffs from, I guess, just about everybody, and those have come in, and we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars just on steel and aluminum. You've seen the numbers. We had a tremendous amount of money come in over the last month, and it's coming in very rapidly, which is fair. We have a lot of steel mills and plants, aluminum mills and plants being built. We have a lot of AI being built, and we have a lot of auto plants being built or going to be built because they don't want to pay tariffs. So, if they don't want to pay tariffs, the best way to do it is just build your plant in the United States. Yes, please.
What do you expect from the Europeans in terms of opening the markets to American products?
Well, they have to open up to American products. We're open to European products, and we have been for forever. I don't think we have, we just about don't have any, I don't think we have any product that we say you can't sell. I guess you could get a little bit cute with chips, but that's, a little bit different category too. No, Europe is very closed. We don't sell cars into Europe. We don't sell essentially agriculture of any great degree. They want to have their farmers do it, and they want to have their car companies do it. I'm not saying anything that nobody knows. We have a rough situation. If we want to sell cars in Europe, we're not allowed to. And as you know, they sell millions and millions of cars, Mercedes, BMW, so many different, Volkswagen, so many different cars, and so many millions of cars. I would imagine number one, I didn't look at that, but I would imagine number one by far, more so than even Japan. Japan sells a lot of cars too. But the Japan deal worked out very favorable, very good. I hope for them too. And that's what we want to do, make everybody happy. Yes, please.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Say it.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
What did you say?
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Well, we gave $60 million 2 weeks ago, and nobody even acknowledged it, for food. And it's terrible. You really at least want to have somebody say thank you. No other country gave anything. We gave $60 million 2 weeks ago for food, for Gaza. And nobody acknowledged it. Nobody talks about it. And it makes you feel a little bad when you do that, and, you have other countries not giving anything. None of the European countries, by the way, gave. Nobody gave but us. And nobody said, gee, thank you very much. And it would be nice to have at least a thank you. And I took a lot of heat. When I do that, a lot of people aren't happy about that because they say, well, why are we doing it and nobody else? But I think we had a humanitarian reason for doing it. What's going to happen? I don't know. I can tell you that Hamas, as I said, would happen at the end. We've gotten back a lot of hostages, a tremendous number of hostages, most of them. Now we have dead hostages, and the mothers want them back, and we have 20 people approximately, but that are living. But we have a lot of bodies, and the parents want those bodies as much as they would want their...
Miguel says, honestly, I don't see American trucks drive into Europe. Our roads are tiny. Yeah, it would definitely be select vehicles. Definitely be select vehicles. Especially in parts of Europe, you guys have very tiny roads. But in stuff like the UK, they're significantly wider. And other parts of Europe, they're significantly wider. So there are some avenues, but I get it. Like, especially Europeans travel from country to country so often, or at least that's the purview for many biased Americans, as I am myself. Like, people just take train rides, and they drive their car from country to country to country. So you definitely want a car that fits through everything. So maybe the U.S. automotive industry needs to create specialty cars for Europe. I don't know. Something that needs worked out.
Child, if that child were alive, I met with parents that it was so sad. Sir, please get my son back. How is your son doing? Well, he's dead, but they have his body, and it's so important. It's more important. It's almost like more, but it's as important as if the child were living. These people were, they're devastated. And I said, when you get it down to a certain number, you're not going to be able to make a deal with Hamas, because once they give them up, then they feel that that's going to be the end of them. And what I said is exactly true. They had a routine discussion the other day, and all of a sudden they hardened up. They don't want to give them back. And so Israel's going to have to make a decision. I know what I do, but I don't think it's appropriate that I say. But Israel's going to have to make a decision.
Mr. President, when you were in the Middle East, you talked about the images coming out of Gaza and starving kids. Those images are still going, but even much worse. Thinner children starving. What do you see or feel when those images say?
Well, it's terrible. You know, when I see the children, and when I see, especially over the last couple of weeks, and people are stealing the food, they're stealing the money for the food, they're stealing weapons, they're stealing everything. It's a mess. That whole place is a mess. The Gaza Strip, you know, was given many years ago so that they could have peace. That didn't work out too well. When Israel gave that up, whoever was the prime minister at the time, who I know who it was, but it was not exactly a very clever thing to do, because that was given so that they finally have peace, and it's actually made the situation worse. But we'll see what happens. I think Iran is acting up. I think that we have a lot of people acting. We have Venezuela acting up in a different way. They continue to send people that we rebuff to our border. They continue to send drugs into our country. Venezuela, they've been very nasty, and we can't let that happen. But we have other countries too. We do have, and this is just getting a little off subject, but we have now the safest border we've ever had. And I think in many respects we probably have the most successful. And I say it all the time. Every leader, when I went to NATO the other day, every leader said, "You have the hottest country in the world." We have the hottest country in the world now. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We have the highest stock market we've ever had. We have the best numbers we've ever had. But we have hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our country. And I think it's the hottest. And by the way, 1 year ago, our country was dead. We had a dead country because of an incompetent president and incompetent Democrats. All they know how to do is talk and think about conspiracy theories and nonsense. If they'd waste their time talking about America being great again, it would be so much nicer, so much easier, be very successful. But we were a dead country, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. Yeah, any other questions?
President Trump, on this particular deal, if you manage to do a deal today, will that be the end of the matter, or could there be more tariffs coming, particularly on pharmaceuticals?
No, if we do a deal today with the European Union, that will be the end of it. Yeah, we'll go, I guess, a number of years at least before we have to even discuss it again. No, that would be the end of it. And this is the biggest deal. People don't realize this is bigger than any other deal. We have great countries. I'm familiar with many of them. So are you. And this is really the biggest deal. This is I guess we're the biggest out there, and they're the second. And when we come together, this will be the biggest deal. If that happens, and it could happen, should happen. Okay, thank you.
Will pharmaceuticals be part of today's?
No, it won't. Pharmaceuticals will be, I mean, could be, we'll do something, but basically pharmaceuticals won't be part of it because we have to have them made in the United States, and we want them made in the United States. And I think it's easy to say, and I think it's important to say pharmaceuticals are very special. We can't be in a position where we're relying on other countries. Now, Europe is going to make pharmaceuticals, drugs, and everything else for us, do a lot, but we're going to have also our own.
A question for the President, by the way, please.
Yes.
Can you give your assessment of what you feel the chances are of deal? The President just talked about a 50-50 chance, and the biggest obstacle being fairness. What would you say are those things for you?
I think the President is right. We have a 50 to 50% chance to strike a deal. And indeed, it is about rebalancing. So you can call it fairness, you can call it rebalancing. We have a surplus, the United States has a deficit, and we have to rebalance it. We have an excellent trade relation. It's a huge volume of trade that we have together. So we will make it more sustainable.
Mr. Trump, can you do better than 15% tariff rate for the EU?
Better meaning lower? Yeah. No.
Mr. President, you're going to meet the British Prime Minister tomorrow. He's going to ask you to consider again peace talks between Israel and Hamas. Are you now saying there's no point in trying to?
Well, we're meeting about a lot of things. We have our trade deal, and it's been a great deal. It's good for them and good for us. I think the UK is very happy. They've been trying for 12 years to get it, and they got it. And it's a great trade deal for both. It works out very well. But we'll be discussing that. I think we're going to be discussing a lot about Israel. They're very much involved in terms of wanting something to happen. He's doing a very good job, by the way.
Also on Gaza, sir, did you speak with Prime Minister Netanyahu this weekend about getting more aid into Gaza?
I talked to him, yeah, I did. I talked to him about a lot of things. I talked to him about Iran. I think Iran's been very nasty with their words, with their mouth. I think they've been very nasty. They got the hell knocked out of them, and I don't think they know it. I actually don't think they know it. They really do. The whole thing's a con job. We have a lot of con jobs going on. But Iran was beaten up very badly, for good reason. We cannot have them have a nuclear weapon. But they still talk about enrichment. I mean, who would do that? You just come out of something that's so bad, and they talk about, we want to continue enrichment. Who would say that? How stupid can you be to say that? So we're not going to allow that to happen. We're not allowing that to happen.
Did you talk about more aid into Gaza?
Will I do more aid? Yeah. The U.S. is going to do more aid for Gaza, but we'd like to have other countries participate. We're going to mention that to the European Union today. That's an international problem. It's not a U.S. problem. It's an international problem. And we're giving a lot of money and a lot of food and a lot of everything. If we weren't there, I think people would have starved, frankly. They would have starved. And it's not like they're eating well. But a lot of that food is getting stolen by Hamas. They're stealing the food. They're stealing a lot of things. You ship it in and they steal it. Then they sell it.
Friday you said that that Europe is being crushed by mass migration, and I wonder whether your friends on this side agree with you on that.
Well, I'd let you respond to that if you like.
So we have been working intensively on the topic of irregular migration. And we have, from the very beginning, said that migration is a European challenge that needs a European answer. As Europeans, we will fulfill our international...
The U.S. was in the same situation about 8 months ago. Legal immigrants pouring over. We were looking more and more like Europe by the day. If you guys were looking at your X feeds or Twitter feeds, you would just see just images, side comparisons between the U.S., Europe. Now the U.S. has completely did a 180, and the Europe is still, I mean, I believe they locked down a bit more, but they are still in shambles, for sure.
National obligations, as we've done in the past, also in the future, that we as Europeans are the ones who decide who comes to the European Union and under what circumstances, and not the smugglers and traffickers. That's the principle in which we're working.
I will say this, they did ask me when I got off the plane, immigration, Europe has a tremendous problem, and we do too, but we've sealed our borders. We have nobody coming in, and we have hundreds of thousands of people being taken out, and the bad ones first, and I think we're doing a very good job of that. But we had, it literally registered 0 people last month. You probably saw that, nobody. And Europe has a very similar problem. I think they're going to end up in the same place. You might as well go there quicker. And the other thing I say to Europe, we will not allow a windmill to be built in the United States. They're killing us. They're killing the beauty of our scenery, our valleys, our beautiful plains. And I'm not talking about airplanes. I'm talking about beautiful plains, beautiful areas in the United States. And you look up and you see windmills all over the place. It's a horrible thing. It's the most expensive form of energy. It's no good. They're made in China, almost all of them. When they start to rust and rot in 8 years, you can't really turn them off. You can't bury them. They won't let you bury the propellers, the props, because there's a certain type of fiber that doesn't go well with the land. That's what they say. The environmentalists say you can't bury them because the fiber doesn't go well with the land. In other words, if you bury it, it will harm our soil. The whole thing is a con job. It's very expensive. And in all fairness, Germany tried it, and wind doesn't work. You need subsidy for wind, and energy should not need subsidy. With energy, you make money. You don't lose money. But more important than that is it ruins the landscape. It kills the birds. They're noisy. You have a certain place in the Massachusetts area that over the last 20 years had 1 or 2 whales wash ashore, and over the last short period of time, they had 18. Okay? Because it's driving them loco. It's driving them crazy. Now, windmills will not come. It's not going to happen in the United States. And it's very expensive. And I would love to see, today I'm playing the best course, I think, in the world, Turnberry. Even though I own it, it's probably the best course in the world, right? And I look over the horizon and I see 9 windmills, like right at the end of the 18. I said, isn't that a shame? What a shame. You have the same thing all over Europe in particular. You have windmills all over the place. Some of the countries prohibit it, but people ought to know that these windmills are very destructive. They're environmentally unsound, just the exact opposite. Because the environmentalists, they're not really environmentalists. They're political hacks. These are people that they almost want to harm the country. But you look at these beautiful landscapes all over the world. Many countries have gotten smart. They will not allow it. They will not. It's the worst form of energy, the most expensive form of energy. But windmills should not be allowed. Okay.
Cambodia and Thailand. You spoke to leaders of those countries.
I did.
Are they doing enough to stop the fight?
I agree. As we know from watching the other video, windmills are absolutely garbage.
I hope so. You're talking about Cambodia and Thailand? So I had an interesting time. We're dealing with Thailand, and we do a lot of trade with Thailand and with Cambodia. And yet...
To be fair, though, solar energy takes up a lot of field, a lot of... I know that a while ago when Elon was talking to a reporter doing an interview, he stated that the entire U.S. could be powered with solar just off of like 1/16 of the size of Texas, that field, or something very minute and minuscule. So there's an argument to be made for solar, and I personally like solar. It offers a lot of independence to consumers, retail buyers, and it just offers a lot of flexibility. It's way better than windmills, but you also have the problem of scenery being trashed by solar energy as well. But it's a lot more practical because it's not 50 stories up, massive moving parts. It's just panels, 10 foot, 20 foot, 5 foot off the ground, depending on what they do with it. It's a lot less moving parts, a lot easier to set up, a lot more less difficult, a lot less difficult to maintain. So it's definitely a lot more practical and energy rich and maintenance friendly. You just place a solar panel there, it performs decently well for 20-25 years, then you need to replace it. The new evolved solar panels are becoming more and more friendly, meaning more and more lifespans for the panels. So it's definitely a lot better than 8 years for a windmill, and a lot of maintenance, a lot of painting, rust, scenery, 50 stories tall, killing the birds, killing the whales.
I'm reading that they're killing each other. You know, they're fighting. They're in a war.
Windmills plus all the solar panels will just create a convection oven on the earth. Yeah, I don't mind solar too much. I don't mind solar too much, but I can kind of understand that.
And I say this should be an easy one for me because I've settled with India and Pakistan, and Serbia and Kosovo was going at it, you know, but they have for a long time, in all fairness, you know about that. And others, the Congo, and you know what's gone on. That's been a horrible thing with Rwanda. That's been a horrible thing. 31 years, 7 million, 8 million people killed. Machetes all over the place. It's a terrible thing. We got that one solved. We did 5 of them. And I was saying, you know, we have a trade deal. We were working on another. We finalized another trade deal yesterday. And I asked my people, I said, how are we doing with Cambodia and how are we doing with Thailand? And they said they're going to be coming in at some point to talk. I said, well, let's call them right now. So I called the prime ministers of each. And I said, we're not going to make a trade deal unless you settle the war. A lot of people are killed, you know that, in a short period of time. The border, they're fighting pretty like wild. And I spoke to both of the prime ministers, and I think by the time I got it off, I think they want to settle now. I know they're meeting today or tomorrow, and we're going to work with them. Marco Rubio is working with them also, his people, and him. I think we're going to get that. That would be a great thing, but that would have turned out to be a bad one. And I will tell you, India and Pakistan, they were really getting ready to go at it. So getting those things settled, if I can do it, and if I can use trade to do that, it's, you know, it's my honor. But I had great talks with 2 very good people that they both really would like to make a deal. So we'll see what happens. Okay, how about one more, 2 more?
Europe's now spending a lot more on defence, thanks to you. Does that
They are.
Should they get a fair deal on trade and exchange?
Well, they're spending a lot on defense, but we're spending a lot more. And, you know, and we've been very generous to NATO for many, many years. And no, but we had a terrific meeting with NATO. I'd love to do as well. We had a meeting where they put up 5% instead of 2%, and they're going to pay it instead of not paying, because, you know, many people didn't pay the 2% or anywhere near it, and the 2% was too low. And we're going to be sending now military equipment and other equipment to NATO, and they'll be doing what they want, but I guess it's for the most part working with Ukraine. But we had a fantastic meeting. I guess it's now almost 4 weeks ago. One of the best meetings they've ever had at NATO, and the spirit and the coming together was incredible. And I stood and I listened to almost 30 speeches. That was a lot. And I was really late, and I had to leave, but I didn't want to leave before those last 10 spoke, because they go home and they tell their wife, Trump left. And they were so nice to the United States. They were all mentioning the United States, and me, but they were mentioning the United States to be here. It's such an honor, you know, et cetera. And I thought it would have been inappropriate. But I did stay. It was very hard, because I was extremely late for something else that was, you know, pretty important. And we had a tremendous NATO meeting. I'm sure you heard that, too. Yeah. It was great. There's some great people that you deal with on 2 fronts, right? But you deal with on primarily the trade front. But I will tell you, they came together, and the relationship is really good. That was it's an interesting question, because you probably have reported it that way. It really, we came together, and they went from 2% to 5%, which nobody would have thought that was even, who would even think that? Because they didn't want to be at 2%. All of a sudden, they're 5%. And that's the right number. And so it was a great honor. I got to know the heads of those countries really very well at that meeting almost a month ago. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody. We'll let you know what's happening. I will. I love doing back. I'll go. It's not in the strip, but I'll go soon. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thankfully, they've already came up with a trade agreement. That was yesterday. President Trump meeting with President of the European Commission. That was yesterday. They were talking about the trade deal, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people are profitable today. It's really good to see. NQ flushed down, went below the 20 May, tapped the pivot point at 23,475. Got a bounce. Now it's reclaiming the 20 May on the NQ 2-minute chart, trying to on the NQ 5-minute chart. Taiwan President Lee Ching-te is set to delay a proposed trip that included a August stopover in the United States. Remember, we have news in 45 minutes. 45 minutes at 1 p.m. EST, U.S. 5-year note, and U.S. 3-month bill. That is the last news on the docket. I'm sure there'll be some news from Trump, possibly other world leaders. Besides that, we have 4 minutes until market close. What's up, Shivam? Good to see you, man. Well. Hopefully you guys are well. Hopefully you guys are trading well. Very low volatility market. ES is trying to break out of the range. Nvidia's up 0.75%, Tesla's up 4.3% on the day, Google is down 1% on the day, Amazon is up 0.62%, Microsoft is down 0.3%, Meta is up 0.5%, Apple is up 0.36%, Netflix is up 0.2%, MicroStrategy is up 0.3%, Palantir is down 0.8%, GME is down 0.25%, Costco is down 1.57%. Alibaba's up 2.4%, Abeco is up 0.65%, AMD is currently up 4%, QCOM's up 2%, Adobe is down 0.2%, Voyager Technologies is down 3.4%, Robinhood is up 0.7%, Bitcoin is currently sitting down 1.12%, ETH is down 1.75%, Sol is down 0.88%, XRP is down 2.33% on the day. ES tapping the 200 SMA. Yankee 30 man getting ready to tap the VWAP. Starting to get a little bullish. News in 40 minutes. Gabber said been holding ethnicity since 100. I think I'm gonna sell at 4K. Been holding ETH since 100. I think I'm gonna sell at 4K this time. $4,000x. Right? That's 4,000x, right? 100x would be 200. 1,000 would be 1,000. That's 4,000x. You just 4,000 extra position. Right, chat, right? Little crazy. Little crazy. May do it. Thinking about going long, even though it's a little overextended right now. It's already bounced 30 points. And it's just gonna slowly grind up till that news. Little high risk, should have been in sooner. Mostly tied up and staking at the moment, only pays like $9 a day. When Gapper, did you stake it in something where you're bound for like a year, 2 years, 5 years, or can you unstake it whenever you want? I know different staking platforms have different rules. Some you can just stake it, unstake it whenever you want, vice versa, and some you actually lock in for a quarter, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, 18 months, etc., etc. No little staking. I can get out now. I had enough for my own validation, but didn't want to tie up. Yeah. See, there's a good argument for like if you were early adopter staking it and like knowing you're gonna hold it for 5-10 years, staking it for like 3, 4, 5 years, it makes sense. You also get higher returns depending on the platform, but it's so uncertain that like not crypto in itself. That's ETH and Bitcoin are fine. They're pretty certain at this point staked, but back then like platforms were dropping like flies on the wall. They were just getting liquidated, bankrupt, rug pulled. So it's pretty high risk if you pick the wrong one. And Q's flushing down. I'm gonna be in with one long. I think it's gonna continue to flush down at least to the 20 May. Probably until the NQ 5-minute taps 20 May, but I'll be in with one long. It's a rejection off the NQ 30-minute. VWAP. ES tapping the 200 SMA. Validator mode. Got most of the ETH at the COVID dump, but only been staking for like 3 years. Hey. $9 a day keeps the hospital at bay from your brain decay. So they say.
Order filled.
I'm in with 2 contracts long. Looking for a bounce here. Bounce, bounce, baby, bounce. Up 35, up 55. Up 75, 2 contracts long. Nvidia starting to prop up a little bit. ES needs to reclaim that 200 SMA pretty fast. The life, you hold your own conviction. This is no way, shape, or form financial advice from what I say or do. Do not follow me. Hold your own conviction. It's for entertainment, educational purposes only. Don't FOMO. There's no fear of missing out. None of that. No missed opportunity, only the next. There are no missed opportunities, only the next one. This could just flush down as well. Does not have to keep pumping. Up 100, 150, 160, 2 contracts long. Okay, I'm gonna de-risk this position.
Order submitted.
Stop. Actually, I'm gonna move stop pretty tight. Not too tight, but just below that 20 May. If we get stopped out, I'll probably re-enter at the once it wicks down a little bit. I don't really want this to come down, so that's why I'm putting a stop. I want this to pop up pretty much here. 6-point stop. Could flush down. Where's this? Okay, it's starting to flush down 50, down 70, 2 contracts long. Yeah, it's trying to flush down. Tapping the 20 May. Down 100. We're about to be stopped out. ES is flushing down. 1 point away. 4 points down. 150, 180, 200 down, 2 contracts long. Yeah, that's why I'm trading with a lot of stops. Every single trade I've taken has basically had a stop on it. I almost risked this account and didn't put a stop, but decided to just put a stop and re-enter. But I'm starting to get pretty bullish. Could be wrong. Have been wrong before. Nugan. Nugu. How today is not a good day. How much are you down? How much are you up? How are you doing mentally? Are you okay? Sure would like a 520-ish NQ to short. Yep. Kind of what I'm going for. My target's actually the full V-shape recovery, probably that pivot point. But I'm probably not going to hold the full target. May trail the one up. We'll see. Currently, NQ is bouncing off the 5-minute 20 May. Risk reward, Dean. Risk reward. On better days, I'll risk the account. Today is not a good day for volatility opportunities. I don't like trading low volatility. If you're a low volatility trader, grind trader, you are loving today. Consolidation trader. Also, I waited for the 15-minute opening range. If I didn't wait for that, there was like 2 good opportunities. But I just wanted to wait for the 15-minute opening range. Okay, it's trying to flush down. Trying to reject the 20 Mayor. Tesla is trying to come up. Video's trying to come up. ES trying to flush down. Getting close to being stopped out. Down 100, down 180, and stopped. We got flushed out. Negative 250, 260. $30 minutes until that news. All these trend lines. The court declines U.S. tariff relief for lower cost goods for now. I have a Roth IRA gapper with Fidelity. Self-directed. Appreciate the follow, Lord. If you guys have not already, smash that like button, follow the channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell after you subscribe. I'm live every single day again at 9:30 a.m. EST for market open. And pretty slow day. There really wasn't a lot on the docket today. To be fair, there was good Trump news, Dallas Fed, MFG bust, and just pretty plain news for now. We do have the US 5-year note, 3-month bill in 27 minutes. Tomorrow, there are a lot of earning calls, a lot of stuff on the docket tomorrow. 9 a.m. US Case-Shiller 20-year over year. Merrick earnings call, United Healthcare earnings call, UPS earnings call, Procter & Gamble, PayPal earning call, Merrick. At 10 a.m. US JOLTS job opening, USCB consumer confidence, red news, very important. Boeing earning call. At 1 p.m. US 7-year high yield. At 3 p.m. US Treasury refunding estimates. So a lot on the docket for tomorrow. The consolidation zone of doom. ATR is at 8 right now. It's at 8. What's up, Ben? It's crazy. Are you trading, Ben? Are you up? Are you down? What's it look like? Not an easy market. And Q trying to come down, Nvidia trying to come down, ES is flashing down. Okay. Thank you, 5-minute 20 meg got rejected as well. It's like the third time. Thank you, 30-minute got rejected. I had a couple of beers. Going on the market at the moment. I used to do a bit a couple years ago. Market's currently at all-time highs, pretty much. All-time high, the stock market, I believe. Hold on. Pre-market. So it's currently at the stock market high, but pre-market high is at 23,585 on the Nasdaq futures. Floating around all-time highs though. The regular Nasdaq is at 23,360. Technically a high or low. Is it going to create a lower high? Kind of leaning towards this tanking down to the Nasdaq Friday close at 22,421. Trend line as well. I'm from Australia, but seems like it always pumping up at the moment. Yep. Well, that 90-day tariff pause with China really set everything in motion and just started just ramping this up, bouncing, going higher and higher. Broski. Right now, it's just watching and waiting. Very low ATR or volatility. ATR is just an indicator of volatility right now. ATR is at 8.3. Kind of lean towards the downside, but I think we may go up. It may create a lower high and then start wicking down. Also, with a piece of news, this can come right back up. The U.S. court declines U.S. tariff relief for low-cost goods for now. The U.S. Trade Court has denied an attempt to reinstate a tariff exemption for small-value Chinese packages, which President Donald Trump ended earlier this year. The Court of International Trade decision on Monday in the fight over the minimus tariff exemption is the latest victory for the Trump administration in its defense against multiple lawsuits over his decision to raise global tariffs. The three-panel judge said it would not hear a case brought by the U.S.-based auto parts distributor, while a series of separate legal challenges to Trump's tariff actions, including the decision to end the de minimis exemption for Chinese imports, are pending before a federal appeals court. Oil production in Ghana declined to 664,000 BPD in June. Basically just waiting for this news. 19 minutes until the US 5-year note, till the US 3-month bill at 1 p.m. EST. 19 minutes. It is going up, Terrible Tim. It is going up.
Order filled.
With 2 contracts long, this is going to be a very tight stop. I really do not have a bull bias, but stop right below 20 May. We'll catch this run up if it happens, or if it drops right here, we'll flip. Kind of more bearish than bullish, but I'm betting on a little pump to create a lower high. May catch some of it, may not. A little late to the buy. I pressed my hotkey while I was on TradingView. A little late. Down 100, about to be stopped out.
Order filled.
And stopped immediately. Again, I had more of a bearish bias. It is what it is. Just took a stab out of it. Very tight stop as well. I'm not gonna just let it go. Not gonna risk an account. Not gonna overplay it. Took $150, $200 loss. Playing it very tight today. I think it's gonna bounce a little bit higher. A little bit higher, at least tap the range, but the ES is starting to pull back. I am more bearish than bullish right now, but ES flushing down. We got some backseat traders in chat. Backseat traders. Richard the File said, I would have taken that trade anyway. NQ 5 minute was propping up above the 20 May. Had to take the risk. ES was climbing up above the 100 MA. I thought it would bounce to the 200 SMA as well. Had to take it. ES pulling down hard. Thanks, so Ash. Ash thinks it'll reach 505, 23,505. Close to that in 30-minute VWAP. Fed bids for 3-month bill total 4.9 billion. Fed bids for 5-year notes total 4.8 billion. That news comes out in 14 minutes. Buyers are indeed fighting. Appreciate the follow, Jarrell. Appreciate you. ES is wicking down. Thank you, May. Wick down. We have that pivot point to the downside at 23,475. No way. Avatar Fire and Ash is being released on December 19th. Oh, shot. They took like 8 years or 10 years to make the other movie. Hold on.
The strength of the ancestors is here.
Oh, is that the burnt tree? This has to be the burnt tree, that big tree that burnt down in the first Avatar.
You cannot live like this, baby. In hate.
If there is something you can do, then you must do it. The children! No, Spider! And we will find another way. Your goddess has no dominion here.
I'm surprised on this quick turnaround. The movie was released, what, in 2024? Or was it 2022? Let's see. The other one took like 10 to 12 years to make. It was released in 2022, so this one only took 3 years. Wow, 3 years went by quick. It's insane how fast time goes by. Insane. I remember that movie being released like it was yesterday. Insane. There's some dispute with the parents in that trailer. Actually looks pretty decent. A lot of twists and turns. Looks pretty long too. That might be a 3-hour long movie. I doubt it because all the visual effects and just wonder what the budget is. That budget has to be insane. The budget for Avatar Fire and Ash, also known as Avatar 3, is estimated to be around $250 million. This is approximately 45% less than the budget of its predecessor, Avatar: The Way of Water, which had a budget of $460 million. I actually thought that was going to be more. That might be calculated wrong, because this one says it will fall between 350 and 400 million, matching The Way of Water. That would make more sense. Russia, Medvedev. Trump is playing a game of ultimatums with Russia. This is a step towards war. 5 minutes until news, chat. 5 minutes until news. Waking up, bouncing off that pivot point. Pivot point of 23,475. 4 minutes until US 5-year note and 3-month bill. 1 p.m. EST. 4 minutes. Just staying patient. Nothing to do but wait for the snooze. News in 4 minutes. Thank you. Tap that 20 May. Hopefully this will offer opportunity. Today has been very slow, very low volatility. There have been opportunities. Excuse me. Got a similar stop loss, won't go below. Yeah, Mondays are crazy to trade. Seems like, yeah, the last 2 to 3 Mondays have been interesting. What's up, The Real? Waiting for this news in 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. US 5-year and 3-month. US 5-year note, 3-month bill. Last news on the docket. Appreciate it, Ben. Appreciate you. Nvidia is currently up 0.77%. It's holding pretty firmly. Tesla's still at 4% up, holding pretty firmly. ES has flipped red. Remember these notes, the US 5-year note, 3-month bill, they might be delayed by a minute or two. They might be delayed. They're coming out in a minute and a half. ATR currently sitting at 8. The VIX volatility index is at 15.27, currently up 2.35%. We still have that gap fill. ES has filled the gap from Friday's close on the ES at 6,425. ES has already closed that. NQ has not closed the gap from Friday's close at 23,421. May not. News in 50 seconds. Russia, Medvedev. Trump should remember that Russia is not Israel or Iran. Appreciate the file, Bass. Appreciate you. All right, news is dropped. Taking a minute. No volatility just yet. It also could come neutral and do absolutely nothing. So far, it's waking up. Iran's foreign minister said Iran will never respond to the language of threat and intimidation. Okay, it's starting to get a little volatile. I've not seen the news yet for the US 5-year note, 3-month bill. Treasury WI 5-year yield 3.975% before 70 billion auction. Waiting for the news to drop. Microsoft introduces Copilot mode for its Edge web browser. So they're introducing AI into the web browser on Edge. What's up, Juice? What's up, Farman? Still waiting. Again, it could be delayed by a minute or two. Also could be neutral and do absolutely nothing. Could come out as expected or as previous. Do absolutely nothing. Still waiting. All right, we're dipping down. About to tap that pivot point. Pivot point at 23,475. We're dipping down, pulling back. Little spike of volatility. Little more. That could be it. Could be all it has. Where am I at? Did the 5-year note not come out? Hold on. US 5-year note high yield 3.983% came out. Previously it was 3.879. US 5-year note 2.31. Previously it was 2.36. US 3-month bill bid to cover 3.21. Previously it was 2.9. Slightly positive. High yield is positive. Bid to cover is a little negative. 3-month bill high yield, low negative, and then bid to cover positive. Trash. Absolutely garbage market. Absolutely garbage. Also not really adapting to it that well. 5-year note auction. US sells 30 billion, awards 67.8% of bids at a high. Primary dealers take 12.23%. I can feel it. My fit wallet's about to get fat. What's up, Silence? I'm good. How are you? Trying to bounce from that pivot point. Get rid of them trend lines, draw new ones. ES is bouncing. There's no more news on the docket. Iran foreign minister, if aggression is repeated, we will not hesitate to react in a more decisive manner and in a way that will be impossible to cover up. Gapper thinks the big move is coming. Oh boy. Appreciate the follow, Bass. Appreciate you. Got it, bro. Trying to flush down. Friday's closes at 23,421. Also a trend line right there as well. Trying to flush down from the 23,475 pivot point. Trying to reject it. Try for a Trump tweet. Nothing. Trying to see if this wants to flush down. No, Gapper, no. Still, the China, if you notice the China 90-day tariff pause, Gapper, when Trump threatened all them tariffs on all the countries, stock market went down 5,000-6,000 points. Then the 90-day tariff pause on China alone started to spike it up, started to bounce it high. Now we're at all-time highs. Deals with other countries have been made. Still have Canada, Mexico, deals to be made. They're pretty important. Still have the Russia situation going on with the war. Still have the Israel-Gaza situation. Still have the Iran situation. China, what I believe the window, the 90-day window is going to be extended. So it could be safe for a while. Only like what, 10, 15, 20? Really haven't kept up too much, but I know that Japan signed a deal. The European Commission just signed a deal, which is very crucial, very important. A couple African countries, I believe the Congo, Uruguay, something. Just some other countries. I'm not 100% sure. I know the European Commission is very important. Extremely important. European Union. I thought Canada and MX did deals. No, I don't believe so. Don't believe so. Earlier they stated Canada's PM, there's a question as to how large those tariffs would be. A U.S. trade deal without any tariffs is not likely. Any trade deal with the U.S. must be in fair terms. For Canada, trade talks with the U.S. are at an intense phase, so they're still at it. This is likely going to bounce. This is likely going to bounce, probably go to the NQ 30-minute VWAP, maybe go all the way to that pivot point up top, 23,533. Finally, that's what we've been waiting for all the day. The ESS is get above the 100 MA, 200 SMA, VWAP, volume weighted average, simple moving average, moving average. Volatility is just so low today, 8.42. I'm not going to sit around anymore. Tomorrow's docket is pretty piped up with earnings. To name a few, Boeing, PayPal at 8:30 a.m. in the morning, EST, Procter & Gamble, UPS, United Healthcare, Merck, earnings. Then we at 9 a.m. EST tomorrow, before market open, US Case-Shiller 20-year, house price index year-over-year, house price index month-over-month. Then at 10 a.m. red flash news as well. 10 a.m. EST tomorrow, US JOLTS job opening, US CV consumer confidence. So a lot of data coming out tomorrow. Growing earnings call. Then at 1 p.m. US 7-year high yield, bit of cover. 3 p.m. US Treasury refunding estimates. So should be a good spike of volatility for at least an hour or two in the morning. Should offer some pretty good opportunities. Get this straight back, and we'll find out. Find out, chat. Find out, chat. So far on the regular YouTube stream, 16 votes are profitable, negative, learning. 56% are profitable, 12% are negative, and 31% are learning. 152 votes on the YouTube short stream. 151, 152. 27% are profitable, 24% are negative, and 49% are learning. We are currently negative today. We lost 477 in drawdown on one account, 276 in another, and 191 in another. And we're up 288 in the fourth account. Is what it is. Had to take it slow, get my legs underneath me. Tomorrow we will be back at it and put some risk on. A lot of families over today, if you guys haven't heard them in the background, by the way. Luckily the stream did not lag, so I'm thankful for that. Thankful for you guys. Took a wee long break. We are now back on the grind. We are going to persevere through resistance. No fear of missing out. There are no missed opportunities, only the next one. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.